Minecraft is a game. Minecraft Live is an event. And the mob vote is a joke.
You get to vote for Mob B, the monster of the night.
Since 2017, the mob vote has been a staple of Minecraft's different live events. From Minecon to Minecon Earth, from Earth to Minecraft Live, every single one for the past 5 years has included some kind of community vote. And on paper, it sounds great. A worldwide vote giving the community an input on game features, bringing us all together. Good, right? Well, as pretty much every vote since that one has shown us, the mob vote is pretty universally ugly. Hate, harassment, and just straight up rigging has plagued every mob vote since the original. And what's it really for? We don't just get one mob, because in the process we lose two others that are just as loved by another 2/3 of the community. So what do I intend by saying all this? I want you to just not vote. Seriously. And I'm going to explain to you why. So get comfortable for this one, because in this video I'm going to explain to you the history in the mob vote, how the vote is dividing us, and what you can do to stop it from happening again. In 2017, at what was pretty inarguably the lowest point ever for Minecraft's popularity, Mojang are at a complete loss for what to do. Sales in the bin, community in the bin, Notch in the $1 million house, and Mojang is trapped in the middle of all of it. And so someone at Mojang has a bright idea. Minecon throughout essentially its whole lifespan has been a colossal failure.
Dedicated wham.
So instead, they opted for a different approach, a live event called Minecon Earth. And in it, they held the first ever mob vote. 4 awesome choices, all with code names. The Great Hunger, the Ocean Depths, the Hovering Inferno. How could this possibly go wrong? So we picked this thing. It kills you for not sleeping in a game where a considerable amount of your progress is made at night. Fast forward to 2020, and Mojang have pretty clearly learned their lesson from the last vote. Despite the victory of whatever this thing is, Minecon Earth was actually a sizable success. And now we're in the age of Minecraft Live, the live event that we have today. And now, Mojang decides that it's time to go bigger, even better than before. They did the biome vote in 2019, the community was all for it. So they came up with their best roster yet. The Isologer, unique Illager with cryogenic abilities, the Moobloom. So the vote got rigged. Not even like a popular YouTuber uses fan base kind of way, which is still pretty scummy in its own right that he did that, but no, it was like literally bribing people with follows for voting the glow squid. And it was on purpose too, like he knew it was totally dumb, and that's why he did it. Yeah, this guy just concerts now. Where's humanity going? So fast forward to 2022, because nobody cares about the 21 vote. And Mojang has once again learned their lesson from the last vote. So what did they do this time? How are they going to revolutionize the mob vote after the moderate success that was 2021? Yeah, so they all suck now. So there's like a rock, and I guess there's this guy too. Yeah, and there's some dinosaur. Yeah, I can see why this one got in. These options actually suck. They were tired of the complaints. They were tired of the criticism. They were tired of the community asking so much after, you know the one. So instead of trying something new with it, they opted to be as neutral as possible with every mob. And truly, this is where the vote started to go downhill. So now we're here, in the current mob vote. Sure, considering the circumstances of 2022, it is more than enough of a step up. But when you put into perspective every previous mob vote, the whole vote fundamentally just kind of starts to fall apart. See, in 2017, nobody had ever heard of the mob vote. Now, a video with mob vote in the title gets hundreds of thousands of views in days. In 2017, despite whatever grievances I may have with it, they actually had to try something. The vote was either going to bring Minecraft back or put Mojang in even worse of a situation than they were already in if it failed. So they went all in on designing each one of these mobs for the game. Come back to 2023 and it almost feels like we've downgraded. We went from the barnacle and the wildfire to the crab and armadillo, which by the way, Mojang is considered a species vulnerable to extinction, because I'm sure you wouldn't want to misrepresent it. It's not just the level of quality that's taken a dive since 2020. There's some pretty basic design flaws in each one of these mobs that for a studio at the level of Mojang are frankly inexcusable. Why does the crab, which is pretty universally understood to be a sea or beach animal, spawn in the mangrove swamp? And by extension of that, who in their right mind is going to travel all the way to the mangrove swamp which mind you is one of the rarest biomes in the whole game, just to get maybe 3 blocks worth of extra reach. Why do penguins spawn on the stony shores but boost your boat, which you use on the sea? I don't mean this to argue necessarily that Mojang is lazy, but it most definitely demonstrates a clear lack of thought put into these mobs that the community is forced to essentially fight over. And speaking of the community, we brought our Discord server together to get some of their opinions. This is the first year where I genuinely think every mob has a solid argument, and that's why I think the community is finally banding together to say that we need them all. It's crazy that they show us 3 great additions to the game and then we never get the others. I feel like the concept of the mob vote is alright, but they need to give more details on the mobs so that people can make more informed decisions. Not every mob has to have a feature. If it were purely aesthetics, I'd definitely be torn between the crab and armadillo. They shouldn't use all real-life animals again. As many people have said, it feels like we're voting 2 mobs out of the game rather than 1 mob in. I think mob votes are just bad. Whatever happens, a huge chunk of the community is always going to be unhappy, and responsibility can easily be put on the players instead of the company. All mob votes are practically useless and are very base, vague ideas that are then still partially explored when the mob is added. The mobs that get the most care are never the voted one. See how many things the camo does in terms of innovation and fun compared to the sniffer. At the end, it really boils down to one question. Why? Why can't we get all 3 mobs? Why do they all have to be arbitrary and rushed uses? Why is it supposedly so hard for them to even add the winners? Of course, the lack of care and rush nature of the newest editions will always be argued as bedrock parity, and I really shouldn't even have to explain how inherently flawed this is. Microsoft is one of the biggest companies on the planet, let alone the United States. They own Xbox, which, despite what you think about PlayStation or Xbox, will continue to be one of the most popular game consoles ever released. And no matter what side of the laziness argument you're on, I think we can universally agree that, in spite of the relaxed practices, Mojang more than qualifies as a AAA studio, and they're more than capable of producing updates for Minecraft. Bedrock Edition came out in December of 2016, and in the span of November to June 2017, Mojang had released 2 major updates within less than a year of each other, both having a greater scope than that of 1.20. And that's not just to bring down Mojang, but it is to say that Mojang's able to do better. They didn't have any issue releasing 1.16 on time and on both versions, and just 1 update later, what was supposed to be bundled into a single update got cut down into 3. Yeah, I know they tried to cover that one up and call 1.19 the wild update, but let's be adults about this. We all know that the world was supposed to be in 1.17. The wild update wasn't even really about the wild. They failed to add the birch expansion, which, how? All you had to do was make the trees a little... I'm getting off topic. So, what do I really mean to say by all this? What I mean is that, as players, we deserve better. You deserve better than this, because as a player of Minecraft, you aren't just some guy who bought the game a couple years back. You're a consumer of a product that you played, participated in its community, bought its merchandise, bought its subscriptions, bought its products within the product, and really just watched grow alongside yourself. A product that you've invested a pretty hefty amount of money, time, and just your life in. A product that you've entrusted Mojang to maintain and upkeep, of which frankly they failed to do. So I'm not telling you to direct your hate at Mojang or harass their employees, but what I am telling you is to direct your voices. Make yourself heard and don't vote. Tell your friends not to vote, tell your servers not to vote. Tell anyone that you know who cares at all about the game to just not participate. In a metaphorical sense, we shouldn't bite the hand that feeds us, but we also shouldn't fill the hand that strikes us either. Truly, I hope more that Mojang sees this in the community, because even though this tackles issues in our community, it's mostly for Mojang to hear. Even if they've heard what the community really thinks, they've consistently paid little attention to it, and it's time that as players we had some kind of impact on the game we love. And frankly, as a customer, it almost offends me that they force us to bicker and argue about 3 mobs that, in the time leading up to the vote, could have already all been in the game. That's really all I have to say. Don't vote, don't entertain the vote, don't play into it at all. Let it be known what you expect from Mojang. Share this video, share this idea, and at the very least, let it be heard. If you like this video, leave a like down below or add a comment sharing your thoughts on the mob vote this year. If you disagree, post about it too. Subscribe if you want to see more content from us. Check out our other videos for updates on our mod. And if you do come back, we'll see you again in the Q&A. In the end, I want you to leave this video knowing that you have more influence over the game than you really think. You just have to demonstrate it. By the way, here's some funny mob vote images I found on TikTok. I'm mostly putting this here because I used one of them for the thumbnail, but I don't have the artist, so I guess like credit goes to whoever made these because it's pretty hilarious.